I'm hoping that we hear from our third select board member soon, but otherwise we will get started and call the meeting to order. I am entering back into a public session now, and we had a non-public for RSA 91-A:32E. And I'm going to make a motion first that we seal the minutes.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Do that. Then get that over with. And then we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Would it stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here. I have the air conditioning on, so if it gets too cool, just shout or we can turn it off. And I didn't know if the windows could slow a little louder. All right. Agenda. And if everyone didn't know, there's an agenda and a sign-in sheet in the back of the room, so please make sure you signed in there and grab an agenda if you need one. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, minutes from the last meeting from November 9th. I'm gonna have to wait to sign those because you weren't here, and Bob is, have we heard from him? Not at all? Okay, so I'm gonna wait on those and we can do them the next meeting. All right, we received a complaint from Dean Davis. Thanks for being here today. I'm not going to read the entire complaint here unless you want to add some detail into it, but it basically talks about the fireworks on Black Mountain on New Year's Eve of 24-25 and on the May 3rd party. And you gave me some, and you saw this too as well, some examples of how the cattle stampeded in the pasture, and then just had some other witnesses. You had some video that you also had attached to the email, and you discussed and documented how you had talked about how the cattle were affected basically from the different fireworks shows. And there's one RSA that you quoted and that was discussed, which was 160-B7VIR. And that states that that fireworks shall not be hazardous to property or endanger any person. And Chief Henry was told by the fire marshal that cattle and animals are considered property, and that whether the animals are endangered is up to the interpretation of the local authority. So that was one point that you also made, and I think that's pretty important. I personally am indifferent about fireworks until it comes to animals and people and whether or not they're either being harmed or if they're at risk at all. So I think of folks with PTSD or animals that have fears and issues like that. So I know that being in a rural residential district where Black Mountain is tough because, you know, when the fireworks are downtown here, there aren't neighbors that are right next door to it, like the Davis Farm is located right next to it. But I also had, and I don't have it with me, but I had the opportunity to look at the debris that's left when a fireworks show is put on. And for example, in the park, there is, I have a video that I'd like to just share with you, Dean, and Frank, and I hope to have the actual debris here, but there's, as you can see, this is all debris, not leaves and debris. So it's plastics, fuses, things
that was from
like
in the
that.
park.
This is from in the
Rockland.
park.
Okay.
And someone who went to the park the next day after the July 4th spent time cleaning and sort of breaking up and cleaning all that, and came back with 7 bins of this sort, which are, you know, like tubs of debris.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about that side of it as well, I think about the fact that you're next to a farm and this debris could be going into where the cattle are, and that's not healthy. And, you know, obviously if it's snowing, you can probably see the debris better and maybe do a better job of cleaning it up. But because of that reason, I am really strongly opposed to having the fireworks next to a farm. Do you want to comment? And
I don't feel that way. But again, as we've talked about in the past, I'd just like to see some regulations so that we can deal with some of these situations. Now, I remember the last debate we had about this before the fireworks happened, that they were going to be set up in a place that would be less onerous to the animals. Is that right? You ask questions, Eric? Was that the case? You moved it in a place that would make it?
Yeah, we did move them significantly further across, and then I think the other thing that's worth considering is we have a lease on to that property as well, where the fence can be temporarily moved during the ski area operations, which we didn't do last year. So inherently, that cattle were potentially could come closer to the ski area. Traditionally, John had moved that fence and repositioned it so the bottom of our ski run, where our beginner area is, would not have cattle. We intend to move that fence again this season, so that would further put more distance between where the fireworks were, where they are. And also, if you look at where we put the permit, part of our tree clearing as well, we moved the location so that it can be further away from where the animals would be, even on May 3rd. So we're nearly doubling the space between where the animals were, in distance between where the animals were on the first firework display to where they would be for our permit that we put in.
And what about the caliber of the fireworks themselves?
We reduced the caliber this last time versus the first time, and we also put in a debris mitigation program. So we have not had any reports of debris from the last firework display or anything that brought up.
can I ask you a question about the second time? I thought that you had put in that you were reducing the caliber of the fireworks, but then when it came down to the fireworks show, you did increase it back up to the 5.
What we had done is there was concern about the low angle and the disbursement of the height of the fireworks actually going off.
Mm-hmm.
So we had sought guidances from the fireworks display company whether or not a bigger shell, which would go further up in the air, would have less of a debris issue and those type of things. It was said that it was, but we ended up not using the larger firework size because we were able to move the location to mitigate the concerns that came up last time.
So how far away, are the cattle still going to be in the field on New Year's Eve?
And the fence, they were not, where he's talking moving the fence isn't changing nothing. They were up by the barn, they're fenced off in the winter, up by the barn.
Mm-hmm.
He has no, the distance ain't changing. He can move it, but they're still scared.
The cattle are still going to be in the field.
They're still scared. They're in the back pasture. They can't go any further back. And the fireworks are scaring them. That's where that video was from.
I would point out, we were not able to access the video. The complaint was just sent to us this morning.
Right.
And we did type it in line by line, tried multiple different ways. So we have not been able to see this video.
Okay.
And I received this copy of this complaint
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours ago.
Yeah, I don't know that it makes much difference because I think we're all aware of the fact that basically there is a contention to having fireworks next to cattle. I don't know that we're going to be able to resolve this tonight if you're for it and I'm not for it. We may need to have Bob here to voice his opinion on it.
We could scope this out here a little bit more, though. I'm hearing two things already. Eric says that because of this fence being moving, it's going to be further away. Dean said it's not. It's really the same. The distance is the same.
All right, easy. Hold on.
So, and who's right here? I mean, I want to know.
Well, it's not that they're farther. It's like the mountain is here and the cattle are here. And the mountain has the fence in between. So if they're moving the fence and they're moving it, the cattle are still here.
Sure.
And the fireworks might be over here, but the cattle are still going to be in
The cattle are still going to be impacted, I'm sure. No doubt about it.
I mean, we certainly can hear the fireworks from the 4th of July up there as well, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
But there is a significant increase in distance, and we've gone through a lot to mitigate from the first firework display. And last time that you approved the fireworks, you asked us to let people know, which obviously we did. We talked about the debris mitigation. We went through significant efforts around where we would place it. We're well beyond the state limit minimums at this point. And we are further increasing that, and because of the clearing of to where the show would go this year, which is in our application. So, I certainly appreciate the complaint. Again, I just got it.
Yep.
And the complaint was filed 124 days after the last firework display. And so, if there's additional things that we would like to do to mitigate this, I'm sure we can continue to collaborate and work on it.
Well, we will have to bring it to the next meeting at least so we can have more discussion with the three of us here, because we are divided on it, so.
Can I just ask one more?
Yeah.
How long does the show last, and what time does it usually go off on New Year's Eve?
It's right around, I don't know, it was about dusk, but we had.
Dusk, okay, so it's
The May 3rd
5 or
was
6.
obviously later because of the daylight.
Yeah.
But I would say realistically a 7:30 is probably,
Yeah, in 15, 20 minutes?
7 to 12.
7 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So Dean, do you think your cows can handle 7 minutes of noise? Does that
You
make a
see-
difference
You
with
see the
30
video,
minutes?
it's not good for it. I mean,
You know, I don't know that doesn't matter to me, it matters to you, I guess, so, you know, it's still fireworks and it's still noise, so, I appreciate that
Yeah.
we're gonna differ on this, so.
I just want to
Could
bring
you
up
just
the
say,
fact,
tell me your name
my
for the
name is
record?
Susan Carrigan.
Thanks.
I just want to bring up the fact that these cows are extremely pregnant.
Mhm.
They're going to be dropping in a month. Just want to let you know.
Right,
And our fireworks display would be in, not a month from now. We are seeking a fireworks display.
no, they're pregnant
No,
on
January.
January 1st, so, okay. We're not gonna talk about this anymore until Bob comes, and if he shows up, we'll revisit it at this meeting, otherwise we'll table it until the next meeting, and I apologize for putting it off, but I appreciate the documentation. Eric, I sent you that today, like you said, but Dean, if you can maybe, I'll get with you to get the video, so we can look at that, but again, it's well documented, from both sides as far as location and, the history, so. All
Were you
right,
able to view the video, Barbara?
I was, so
You were.
I'll get with you and we'll figure out and make sure that it transfers to you. All right? Okay, that is that item. All right. This is an agenda item that is actually not, it was added on here, so give me a second to locate what I need, but there it is. Make sure we're doing this right. Okay, so we had a meeting prior to this in a non-public and reviewed some documentation, but out of that, we are deciding that we're going to revoke the permission of the Alpine Resources Corporation's license for the Alpine Cabin located at the midpoint of the mountain and the deck of the Alpine Cabin at Black Mountain Ski Area located at 373 Black Mountain Road in Jackson, New Hampshire. This was original letter providing the town's permission was dated November 26, 2024, and we'll attach that when we file this with the Liquor Commission. So I will make a motion to sign this letter.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. And I do want to say that if the verbal warnings and counseling and things change at the Midpoint Cabin where you have maybe proper facilities and things, we can go back and revisit that.
Is there any
Down the
discussion
road.
on this, or
Mhm.
is there any discussion on this?
No, we'll
Because
be,
it's not an agenda item.
right, I added it on as an agenda
You
item.
added it up just now as an agenda item,
About an hour ago, yeah.
an hour ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay?
so no discussion?
Yeah, we can have discussion. What would you like to discuss?
Okay, well, obviously, we just heard that, so you were seeking to revoke the liquor license of the Alpine Cabin?
No, we can't revoke the liquor license. We're revoking the letter from November 26th, which gives you the permission for the business to serve liquor, wine, and beer at the Alpine Cabin and the deck of the Alpine Cabin. So we're rescinding or revoking that permission to serve alcohol at those two, basically the Midpoint Pub.
And the reason for that, and so there was no hearing on this that included us, correct?
No, this was part of, when we talked about the liquor license report, which I know you all have copies of, from the Liquor Commission. So you've received verbal counseling on some issues, and most of those complaints, I'll say most of, we received multiple complaints and witnessed complaints over service at the Midpoint Cabin, lack of facilities there, people urinating in public outside of there. There's no bathroom, no running water, so you're serving alcohol in that area where there are no proper facilities. There were allegations also and witnesses that said that there was pot smoking in that area, so we don't feel like that's an area that should be serving alcohol without those facilities. Now, can you serve people up there as far as if you wanted to give them hot dogs and stuff? And I guess you can, that's up to you. I think it's personally odd that you don't have facilities there. You have chairs up there for folks to sit and enjoy the Midpoint Cabin, but we're revoking the permission to serve alcohol there.
Yeah, I guess my question is that we were not informed that you were considering this, revoking it, so we have not had a hearing.
Right.
We have had no discussion about it.
Right.
We do in fact have running water up there, which we transport up to the mountain. And I think these are all things that can be discussed, in a hearing
And like I said, if you want to reapply for that, once we probably, can do come to an understanding that we believe it'll be better managed this year, that there won't be so many complaints and risks, then we can
We have not received
revisit
a
it.
copy of those complaints, and
Those are all in the report from the New Hampshire Liquor Commission.
They're not.
they're not.
None of the underlying complaints are. They all came from Chief Curley.
Correct.
No, they're all in the report. I mean, we've all read them. We can get them to you for sure. They're all, it's in the same copy that everyone has been copied on.
Correct. There was all, the Liquor Commission confirmed all the reports came from Chief Curley. So to the extent there's something underneath that he's reporting that somebody complained to him, we have a copy of those complaints. And that was what we were asking for to begin with.
Okay. Chief?
Yes. First of all, I didn't make a complaint of service of alcohol without a license at the mid-station cabin. That was discovered in the investigation by the Liquor Commission. So I didn't make that complaint, so that's incorrect. Second of all, the complaints that were documented by other parties may have came through me because they reported them to the police. But to be sure and on the record, I'm not saying I saw these things. Witnesses were telling us they saw these things. So I think it is a mischaracterization to say these complaints came from Chief Curley, other than, the equivalent would be like, well, letters come from the U.S. Postal Service. That doesn't mean they're sending you letters, they're delivering you letters. We amassed information, we sent it to the liquor department, they investigated, we have documented all of the witness statements and all of the events. We provided that to Attorney Meyer and to his client, and to include discovering that they never had a liquor license at the mid-station cabin. So I think that's a mischaracterization to say that, personalize it by saying these are Chief Curley's complaints.
Well, again,
Do you have the incident report?
Yes,
It's in here.
correct. And the difference is, the whole 91A complaint was to get the complaints underlying what went to the liquor department. We still don't have any of that.
That's
despite
completely untrue.
Okay. We will have a conversation after that then and
My apologies.
prove that, but
So the Black Mountain's position is, it's completely inappropriate to take action on their ability to serve up there without having the hearing that I can present their side and the town can present their side. That's what due process is.
Mhm.
They're able to do that up at the Alpine cabin currently, and you're taking away that right without giving them a hearing. So
And we actually didn't have a hearing when we gave them the permission to do that either. And we were really led to believe that on November 26th of 2024 that things were going to be run a lot more responsibly there. Someone died up there because they were drinking and they weren't served there. We understand they were drunk when they got there, but alcohol has been a real problem and a point of discussion at the mountain. So I'm not going to say anything else right now. We can have discussions after this. We'll make sure that you have your information that you have requested, because it's obviously that there's some lack of communication between the two of us that you don't have that information. We will be rescinding the application and the permission, and if you want to reapply for that once that there's facilities and things, then we will go there. Chief?
Yes, I would like the board to ask Attorney Myers this specific question. Did you receive my email that included the redacted New Hampshire Liquor Commission report as well as the supportive material that I provided to the Liquor Commission?
Yes.
That is all the complaints and reports?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was,
My
I believe it was
point is,
60
though, it comes
pages.
from the underlying complaints came from you and Mr. Bennett, and I don't have like other, if there were multiple witnesses, I don't have those complaints, so if.
Okay, then that's a different discussion that we will have outside of this meeting then, and we will talk about it, okay? We're not gonna solve it today. We're not gonna solve it right now, because you're disagreeing on what information you have and what information is available. So we can talk about it after this meeting if you two folks want to stick around. Okay? We're gonna move to the next item. Thank you. Highway Department updates. Jim?
Hey, I just had a couple things. I know there's some questions on some roadside mowing.
Yes.
We will be getting to that this fall. I spoke with Coleman Rental, and they have a roadside mower.
Okay.
It's actually currently right now in another town.
Mm-hmm.
When they are done with it, we are next on the list.
Oh,
So the roadside, they won't be as well as I'd like, but they will be cut back for people to see down the road. We make an effort to get as much as we can before winter.
are there specific roads that you're hitting first? Like, do you have a plan? Is there, you just,
We're gonna try to get as many town roads as we
Okay.
can. Mostly on this side, I know Ridge Road, Eagle Mountain, Wilson Road,
Tin mine?
Tin Mine, and North Hampshire. Yeah, sure, I can do Tin Mine too. North Hampshire is gonna be our focus points.
No
Those seem to be
favoritism.
the worst ones. I know an area I can skip.
and again, I don't want to, obviously, we're not going to micromanage where you're mowing, just,
Yeah.
we'll all be aware of it and it'll be in the minutes and all that.
I will,
And just,
yeah, I will make an announcement in the news when we
Okay.
start mowing. So
Thank
we'll be
you.
looking for us.
that's number one.
Oh, wait a minute, could you think, is that Penny?
I got it. Okay, the update on Town Hall Road,
Mhm.
I spoke with Greg Howard of North Country Soil Services, and he and I are coordinating with everybody involved, which is New Hampshire DES and the US Forest Service, to get a plan together to mitigate the last little bit that we need to take care of.
Okay,
It's more at this point a permission and paperwork thing. We just
Okay.
have to file a couple pieces of paper, the US Forest Service will give us permission to go back on their land. We have to touch up a couple things at the bottom of the DES. I wouldn't say dislike, but they just want clean up.
okay.
So that should be done for a while.
So I'll probably get an email then that says we're all taken care of and everybody's happy.
Sooner than later, I hope.
That would be great, okay.
And the only other thing is the Thornhill Road culvert.
Yeah,
We left it in the property owner's hands. We spoke, Frank met with her, and we explained our problem and the solution, and kind of left it to them to make a decision what they want to do with the lot and the culvert.
Specifically, he said that Joanne and Scott seemed to understand the situation better. Most runoff was already flowing to their land, and the wet fern area existed before the new culvert was added. Gary Allen put that new culvert in last
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
We essentially suggested after either leaving the culvert as is or rerouting the flow to another culvert that flows onto their land. We left it in that way, and they were to think about it and get back to us, but they basically said it was a friendly conversation and they'll get back to us at some point to discuss this. But it really, it hasn't been raining in the last few weeks. But there also, Burr was quick to point out too that there was room for a driveway. in one of those lots too. He saw no problem with that.
Oh.
And
Well,
they
I
were
didn't
happy,
know
they
that
were,
was
they were
part
happy to
of
hear
the-
that also, so.
Was that
One of
part
the
of the
cons-
conversation?
Yes,
Sorry.
One of the concerns was they
Yeah.
would lose access to the property, and walking the property line, they had a few different access points that would be
right.
eligible for driveway. Without, the runoff would not affect the driveway at all.
Okay,
So we'll hear from,
So we just.
Eventually.
repeated
okay.
that. It's
Well,
up to
that's
them.
good news. Everybody's happy? All right. Some of the roads you've redone look wonderful. Thank you. Penny, is that you?
Yeah. Jim, would you be able to,
Okay, wait, if you're gonna
Oh,
ask
sorry.
something of Jim,
sorry, yes,
why don't you guys hook up after the meeting then?
okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, the pop-up traffic calming demo. David, did you want to give an update, or Emily? Emily.
I'll come up.
First of all, I just want to say, traffic calming just is the weirdest terminology for this. It's just, I didn't call you and tell you that, but I just wanted to say calming.
Well, yeah,
Anyway,
traffic redesign.
okay.
So we are moving forward on this plan. Things are to be set up on Sunday, October 28th, and no,
September.
Sunday, September
September
28th, running through October 6th. There was some concern at the next meeting that we didn't have a DOT contact, and we do have that contact identified. His name is Alan Hanscom, and he's the interim District 1 engineer. So Nick Altanaga with North Country Council has been working closely with him.
Okay, good.
Both Nicks and, well, so Nick Aceto and as well as Alan and DOT in general have noted that there is that concern about the turning radius
Right.
during this demonstration. We have an on-site meeting on the 24th, Wednesday this week at 10:30. And we understand you're not able to be there. I guess one of you could attend, but we've got Jim's gonna be there, myself, hope Jay's gonna be there, representatives from the Historical Society. So we'll be on site looking at everything and just doing final prep. One thing that has gone into place are the traffic counters and speed
Yes.
counters. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, one over by the bridge. We had some difficulty locating the one in the middle of the village because it has to be in a place where people don't park on it.
Oh,
So it's a little closer. They wanted to get it closer to the intersection, but it had to be a little bit further this way, sort of coming into the tight, Main Street. So that's in place. In terms of the outreach to the public, we've put out information through e-news. Last week I did face-to-face outreach with a number of the different businesses. Autumn Nomad, Badger, Greg Marcello with the Whitney Community Center, Ann Pillion with the Historical Society. The grammar school is well aware. They've been putting information out. Dutch Bloom and Winkle, the Chamber, to all the businesses. And then outreach to Eric at the Snowflake Inn. That was in specific reference to that traffic counter, and they were really helpful. Like, that's not going to work there. So that worked out with that. And then we put outreach to volunteers, number of different avenues, but North Country Council created a sign-up survey that they can do, so they are taking care of that. So it'll be interesting to see how many they have. There will be a follow-up survey after the event that's already been created. So once the event happens, then we'll send that out through e-news. There will be a final report. We can share some of that information, initial information at the safety fair that's happening at the library on October 18th. And then there'll be the full report that's coming through. What I am telling folks, this doesn't mean that this is then going to be done next year.
right,
By far.
right.
It's way out. So people are, and anyways, this is simply, again, I just want to reiterate that. It's simply a demonstration to give us the data and the feedback that then can help inform master planning process or whatever.
I think that was some of Bob's concern, was that just a little preemptive of
Right.
anything, and it could be 10 years
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah,
Hundreds
and
of
I apologize for
thousands of
that
dollars.
scenario where you guys got all of that
Yeah.
before the meeting and it was like, what? And I
Yeah.
realized, oh, I hadn't even said anything to Bob. I think
Yeah.
you all maybe kind of knew about it, but, so I think, was that it?
Yes,
Okay.
they are gonna change the stop sign.
Yes, so just in working with them in terms of, I don't know if everyone's aware,
Stop
like,
sign.
There's a stop sign when you go up Black Mountain, there's that stop sign right there. That will be covered, so there'll be no stop sign there, because they don't want you to make the turn and then
Stop, I see,
And
because
then
it'll
the yield
move.
sign will be turned to a
Okay.
stop sign.
Okay, okay. And then I heard a rumor that someone asked if we were putting in a roundabout.
yes. Oh, gosh. There's a resident who keeps saying, we can't put in a roundabout. I said,
That
that's
would be
not the initial engineering study that's been done. So
Okay, just want to debunk that in case anyone's
there's no,
thinking. Roundabout with the school in the middle?
yeah, let's just put the school in the middle of the roundabout. So.
All right, thank you.
Is that good?
And
Okay.
good luck.
Thanks.
Yes, I
Thank you.
appreciate it and
Yeah.
hope everyone is, I hope you get good feedback on it, because
I
that'll
do.
be the real test of.
Yes, yep.
I may come down there on the 24th.
Yeah,
That would be
I'll make
great.
it up.
Yep, yeah, if one is, yeah, that'd be great.
okay, thank you, Emily.
Because you said you couldn't,
No,
right?
no,
I could just change that. plan.
okay. All
I
right,
think Bob works it out. We like it.
Okay,
Site is good.
Julie, what is, this is
This is new,
the new site? Okay, somebody's chatting, guys? I can't concentrate, I'm sorry. Site disturbance notice of intent.
Yeah, Bert just created this for the new ordinance, so you guys just need to approve it.
Okay, so, and this was vetted by Burr and the planning board?
And the planning board?
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Terry's
Hi
here.
there, Terry.
It's-
Everything is good
It's
with
good.
this? Okay, and this just goes along with the new site disturbance ordinance that was approved at the last town meeting? Okay. I will make a motion to approve the new site disturbance notice of intent form.
Okay, and I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we don't have to sign anywhere on this, it's just the form. Thank you.
Thank you, planning board.
Is this available somewhere on the website?
It will
Say that
be
again?
It will be. I'm just wondering if it's available somewhere on the website.
It will be on our town
Yeah.
website, yes, under planning board and ordinances.
under like permits, and it will
Okay.
be where the building permits are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so our beautiful Valley Crossroad Bridge with our beautiful trusses that have had so much conversation over the years had a padlock put on them. So you know the bridge in whatever European town it is
Oh,
that
yeah.
has all the
Well,
padlocks on
Paris
it?
does that.
Yeah, so we had our first padlock and Chief Purley was able to remove it with his bolt
Oh, that's
cutters.
what the hell is it?
And I told him that if he gets a second one, I want to do the bolt cutters, because I think that sounds really awesome. But the conversation we have to have is, do we want to put some signage up about,
Not doing that?
yeah,
Have we ever seen that happen before this?
no, but let's think about it. I don't want to put more signs up, but I don't
Yeah.
want more locks, so the police are going to keep track of it and see, but hopefully it won't become a problem
It
that we
just-
do have to put.
It's just coincidentally, Paris is actually stopping that. They're taking all of those
They
off
have
that
to,
bridge.
because the
over
bridge
side.
integrity
Yeah.
is being.
Right.
So, I don't wanna have to put a sign up or a fine,
I mean, it's only
but,
happened once in
yeah,
100 years.
well,
Yeah, but they post.
okay,
You were
so,
here.
yeah, so we'll keep it in our mind, that's one, it's on our desk, so we're gonna reach out to the folks. No. Hopefully, we won't see it again, but we'll keep it in mind. Legal review of zoning ordinance changes for the town warrant. Bill Terry. Hello? Yes?
Hi.
What would you like to discuss?
We need, according to the rules of the select board, we need permission to talk to our legal counsel to
Gotcha.
review changes to the zoning ordinance. We need to know a couple of things. One immediately that we're working on is to address short-term rental grandfathering and sunset of that provision, which was talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Right,
And so we're working on that immediately, but we have about maybe a dozen items that either need to be changed because the state law has changed, or we need to revise how we look at things and change wording in order to work with the new legislation. So we have new state laws. The state laws override the zoning ordinance, but we'd like our language to agree. So we need to know which items we need to avoid, and we need to know which items are housekeeping, and we don't know because we're not legal people.
Awesome. So I'll make a motion to allow the planning board to go to our legal counsel for the purpose of cleaning up, changing, revising the short-term rental ordinance.
Yeah, I'll go along with
All in favor?
that. Aye.
Aye. Along with that, Bob isn't here, but he's your liaison, and Julie and Betsy, since they are the ones that administer it from the town office side of things, I would love you to get their input as well when you're doing this. So between the two of them and Bob, if you would please consult them when you're making your housekeeping and changes, that would be great. All right. And that brings us to the next town ordinances discussion. All this is today is starting the conversation that says we need to look at our noise ordinance, our fireworks ordinance, the short-term rental ordinance, which you just brought up, and we are going to be putting in an event permit, which we don't have anything for, and that was interesting. So we'll just, and we have several towns to look at that we can use as examples. And we'll be setting up at least one meeting for the select board to concentrate on those, and then public hearings once we get that done. And then Julie will also inform me again, we'll go over the calendar for what deadlines there are for either ordinances or petition warrant articles, or petitioned ordinances, or petition warrant articles, I should say. So that's all this is. Do you have any others that you want to add to the list?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So just anything else you want to hit on? That pretty much does it, right?
That's it.
So we'll be announcing those moving forward. All right. Proposed sign for Route 16. So you're going to do that one for a little bit. So Larry, I know you're here. You had some concerns because folks are coming in your driveway and turning around on their way up 16 North.
And people that are driving up Route 16 North are looking for services and amenities on the main road. We have a sign that says Jackson Village to the right, which is located opposite the lodge. But I think most people are hoping that they'll find something right on the main road. And when they go past 16A and Mirror Lake and they get up to Old Jackson Road, they realize they're out of town. And so they start looking for a place to turn around and go back. And the first obvious place to turn around is Ridge Road. And as they leave Ridge Road at 50 miles an hour and crest the hill, the first place they find to turn around is conveniently 143 Ridge Road, which I'm intimately familiar with. On a nice day, you know, where there's vacationers and travel, there could be, I mean, I've seen half a dozen cars in a day turn around, and I'm sure there are a lot more because I don't have a camera trap or a traffic. But, and I know that people are turning around in other locations too. To be clear, they're not creating any harm or damage. It's at most, you know, a minor inconvenience. Particularly when I'm driving up Ridge Road to go home and there's someone sitting in my driveway to exit and I have to wait for them to complete their turnaround. So it's just an observation that a lot of traffic is missing the village and having to turn around and come back. So I was wondering if we couldn't augment the existing sign where it says Jackson Village to the right. Put another panel directly under it that says no services next 20 miles. That wouldn't be adding a new sign other than enlarging, in essence, a sign that's already there. And I realize also that it's a state highway sign.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm asking if the town could request that additional information on the sign to prevent a lot of this turnaround traffic.
Yeah, my initial thought is, oh, please not another sign. And then I also am wondering how you interpret new services, because, and it seems 20 miles is a little steep for that distance. Is it really 20 miles till you get to the end there?
From
Is it-
Jackson to Gorham.
Yeah, but, and so in the middle there is the Glen House and a few other things. So there are places to go, so that's why I say no services is a little broad. I think we need to maybe brainstorm on that and see what we can come up with, either in a sign format or other communication or something. And you're not gonna reach everyone because they're tourists, obviously, that are coming and
Well, I
going.
think in terms of format, I propose doing something that looks just like the
Right.
Jackson Village sign so that it was visually consistent.
Mm-hmm.
As to the language, I'm not particular about the language.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to solve a problem.
What about no gas?
You know, people are
Yeah,
looking for, well, it might be a cup of coffee, it might be lunch, it might be ice cream,
Yeah.
it might be a souvenir, it might be a gift card, I mean, whatever.
Why don't we come up with some other ideas?
Some appropriate
and-
language.
Yeah.
Yes, the chief. Chief?
Chief, do you have any thoughts on that, or?
Well, I don't think it's, I certainly feel for Larry's plight, and I think in the initial thing that I would do if I was he, was I would put up a no turning sign in the driveway. Only because you have immediate control over doing that versus putting up state road signs, which we don't have immediate control. So that might be one mitigator. A couple of perception problems I see is it's not accurate to say there's no services next 20 miles. You have the Blake House, which is a B&B. You have the AMC Base Lodge. You have the Glen House Hotel and the Auto Road, all prior to Gore. So that part is not accurate. What I was thinking in the alternative, if the state would agree, I think I'm using a capital I and an F, because they can be very particular about signage, is rather than no services, after the Jackson Village, a sign that says all services. So if somebody's looking for Jackson Village, they know that's where the services are. Now, I say that, however, that could disenfranchise Shenandoah Pub, because they are after the turn. So these are, I think, the complications associated with finite signage like that.
Yeah.
So what service do you think they're looking for? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, go ahead.
I mean, is it, because I'm stuck on gas. I mean, people usually, they don't want to go too far without knowing there's a gas station somewhere. That would cover it, wouldn't it? The 20 miles, there's no gas, that's for sure. They're not serving that at the Blake House or the Glen House or any other place.
Well, there's definitely no gas.
So maybe, do you think that would be very helpful? Do you think these folks are looking for gas, or are they looking for knitting materials? I mean, what are they looking for?
Well, I haven't polled them to know what they're looking for.
You're gonna have to
Okay,
do
it could
that.
be anything. It could be anything. But to the chief's comment about putting a sign on my property doesn't solve the problem, they'll just turn around somewhere else. You know, it's not my property that I'm worried about
No.
particularly. I understand that the language is
Yeah.
subject to interpretation and a little problematic, so hopefully we can work out some better language. But overall, there's an awful lot of turning traffic.
Right. So
Whether
all we
it's my
can,
property or somebody else's.
so all we can do is recommend whatever we might come up with a recommendation, but the state ultimately has the decision to make.
Yeah,
Not
that
us,
sounds good.
but we could do it too. All right.
Can you, being with the
Yeah.
highway,
Yeah.
come up with some alternative suggestions and, yeah,
We could do that.
thanks,
We can do
Jim.
that. And with the police department too, would
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
And then, I do know that I agree with the chief, like, it's probably not gonna deter people to not turn around in your driveway, but if it helps a half by saying no turning around or, you know, something, I have seen that, but again, I don't know how many people will, they'll probably hit the sign while they're turning around, so.
They're not bothering me.
No, they,
I hear you though, it's a little privacy.
you're trying to help them go in the direction that
Trying
they
to
want
solve
to
the
go.
problem.
Well, you could also, you know, charge a fee,
I didn't think of that.
$20 to turn around in my driveway.
$1.
Okay. Oh, I'd go big. Okay. So you guys will work on that and just keep me posted if
Okay.
we come up with anything on there. So we have finally, our final version of our select board rules of procedure. We had one point that we had changed in the last meeting where, I'm gonna read the whole thing just so we can make sure we finalize it the right way, but also it
You're gonna wait
changed
till Bob gets here, because I don't know if I can look at that. Right?
the public comment part.
Any of this, I guess, I don't have it now. You were gonna bring it up now to vote on, when Bob's not here?
Well, we've been over it a couple of times and then but let me read what I changed, what we
Oh,
changed
okay.
at the
All
last
right,
one, so
okay.
you can
I
see,
get it.
because
It's
this was
misunderstood.
the only one. We changed it, so it was saying, a member of the public wishing to ask questions or make a comment during public comment shall wait to be recognized by the chair, state his or her name for record-keeping purposes, and then proceed with the comment. So we took out ask questions or comment. Now, let me keep reading. Each
Yeah.
citizen's input will be limited to approximately 2 minutes and pertain to town business. The public comment portion of the meeting shall not exceed 15 minutes, subject to overrule by a majority of the board. What it does basically is just says that we're not going to get into a question and answer, which we've talked about before. This does not say that we can't do that. It says that this is what we wish them to do. So if it, and I'll maybe just use the school board meeting as an example, where they are very hard and fast about only taking comments and not responding to comments. And they don't do that. They will not respond to a comment in the,
But we can, if
we can, so that it says, a member of the public wishing to make a comment during public comment shall wait to be recognized, state his or her
Okay.
name. Each citizen's input will be limited, the public comment portion. So it doesn't say you can't ask a question, but we are saying that we're not going to comment on the question unless we feel
Oh, but we can.
strongly we can.
Okay,
Okay?
that's fair. Okay.
Does that
Good.
make sense
So
to
there can be a
everyone?
little bit of give and take if we deem it right.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So that's what the big change was on
That's a big
that.
change. For me, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I remember that meeting where I was surprised that we didn't have a give and take.
correct. So do you want to approve these?
Okay, I can do that.
change?
Now
All
that I
right,
know.
I will
Now
make a
that you
motion
remind me
to
what it was.
approve the select board rules of procedure.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bottom line.
Yep.
Thank you, Julie. Please.
Thank you. Yep.
The next is fire station construction updates, and I'm going to, Peter, anything, nothing updated other than they're closing it in, right?
Yeah.
Yep, looking
Looking
good.
That's working.
We did a little tour of it today. It's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Town hall building and move updates. I don't see anyone here, so I'm assuming all is going well there. I know they're making a lot of progress on it. And then the fire pond easements, we just received some verbiage back from our attorney, but we're still reviewing, so that's gonna continue on the pending. Right? That one? All right. Short-term rental, conditional use permit. This is for the Anzaldis at V8, map V8, lot 18. And it is a one-bedroom apartment over the garage. They are advertising for one bedroom, 2 people, I think, or 2 people. I will make a motion to approve.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, building permits. Kevin, anything interesting on there that we need to know about?
No, they're all straightforward.
Okay, no driveway permits. Any public comment? Peter?
Just a quick, really quick update, fire department wise, in case you're not aware that today the governor did establish a statewide burn ban until further notice, and that includes all fires except at designated campgrounds, which we don't have any of. It also includes a smoking material ban in and around public trails and roads, which is, from an enforceability standpoint, a nightmare, but I mean, it's a good faith effort, and they're not looking at enforceability. It just goes to show you how deep a drought we are in. We've had lots of well reports, as we've all heard, and
on the call that we made part of this morning, we're looking at 14 to 16 inches of rain needed over a long period of time to get us back to just normal. So the weather upcoming the next 3 days is better, but it's probably not going to make much of a dent. So
Right.
that's pretty much where we're at drought-wise.
And we still have no brush. They're not taking any brush at
No
the
brush.
transfer station. So just everyone be careful, conscious, and hope for rain. So, Eric?
Yes, one, I wanna quickly, you brought up the skier that died at Black Mountain, and you had said that it was because of alcohol or that something was on him, and that is not something that we have seen in a report. We've seen a copy of the report that Chief Purley produced, but I do think it's inappropriate to say that was somehow a cause of death or that something happened both to that skier and their family, because it was very much ruled an accident that he fell skiing. And so to make the jump publicly and to say, as a town official on record, that alcohol was involved or alcohol was the cause of that, I would love to know what information you based that on, and I think that's very challenging. The second thing is, as I believe you're aware, our liquor permit at that location is valid until March 26 at the Alpine Cabin. And so do you, in this ruling that you did without a hearing or any sort of conversation, are you saying that it's the town's expectation that we not serve alcohol immediately at the Alpine Cabin?
Correct.
Correct, okay. And then finally, I have reviewed what Chief Purley produced to us in the email to Attorney Meyer, and there is still a significant amount of items redacted, and there are no underlying complaints that you issued or that you spoke of. There is only a complaint from Chief Purley to the Liquor Commission and from Kevin Bennett to Chief Purley, then to the Liquor Commission. The anonymous complaint of people or the many complaints or the things that you monologued about, we have not seen a copy of, and that was the entire purpose of our 91A action, which we still believe the town has not complied with.
And we will discuss that after this meeting, like I
Perfect.
said when we
So I would
there.
invite the town, prior to revoking or taking the position that we are unable to serve alcohol at one of our prime locations that is extremely important to that business's revenue, to have a conversation instead of unilaterally act after a lengthy legal process where we still have not received all the documentation. So I would be happy to have that conversation with the town, or we will promptly seek injunctive relief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I actually have a public comment on the other side of the table here. This town is dear to so many people, and some people have lived here for a really long time, generations and generations, and some people will never be considered locals because they haven't lived here forever, but have been coming up here for a long time. So we have different levels of commitment and love to the town. And as the town changes and things arise, we are addressing them as the select board. Some of them are really challenging because we haven't ever had to address them before. Some things are challenging because we're addressing them in a new light and a new time. Just because we're addressing them today, maybe they've never been addressed in the past, or maybe they have been and they've been ignored by a previous select party or another board or person. But one of the things that is just one of the worst things you can say to me is that this is the way it's always been done, so we're going to keep doing it that way. And sometimes that really works, and other times it's just not accurate. And I feel like we need to really revisit things and make sure that we're still doing the things that we're supposed to do as the select board for the town of Jackson. So it doesn't mean that we're targeting a specific event or person or ordinance or short-term rental owners or anything like that. We are doing what we have to do to make sure that our town is being taken care of the way people want to visit it and live here. So if anyone is renting a home, has a second home here, lives here for good, has been living for generations, entertaining visitors, you have a business here, we want to work with people. So if you're planning something that might be different, or you might think it deserves a little more attention, I would love for you to come to the board before, or call me, email me, whatever, Frank, Bob. We are open to hearing from you ahead of time so we don't run into situations that might become contentious or just different. So, you know, the ordinances are always available, the laws are available online. Some of them are common sense and some of them are just not. So the more we can do to know things ahead of time and be prepared for things and work together, that's what we're here for. That's my comment. So. All right, I will tell you that we have a conflict, Frank, at our next meeting, not the next one, the one after that. So Saturday, September 27th, by the way,
What does
Household
that have to do with us?
Hazardous Waste Day. October 14th is our select board meeting. I will not be here on the 28th. So when we chat with Bob again, maybe we'll figure out if we want to reschedule that meeting, because I don't think we can get away with not doing meetings this time of year,
No.
because it's
You do like on a Monday, like
busy.
we did this time? Or
I
is it-
could
or
do
you-
on a Monday, but I have to look at my calendar and
Yeah,
we'll get
we'll
through
check
with
it
Julie and
out.
Betsy and figure out when we can all
So I
make it.
got dates like, you know,
So the 27th is Household Hazardous
That's
Waste
it.
at Conway. 14th is our next meeting, and then we will reschedule the 28th.
Yeah.
It is 4:26, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, sorry, Penny?
It's come to my understanding, and I don't know if this is true or not, but if, I understand that Chief Jay Henry does work for Black Mountain. And if that is the case, is there a conflict of interest in him signing a fireworks permit for Black? On behalf of the town? It's just, I don't.
Yeah, I appreciate your asking. I do uphold the integrity of all our employees here, and what we've read from his approvals of that, he has crossed all T's and dotted all I's. So, and we've actually talked about it a little bit, that making sure that if he has a conflict with anything, he would defer to Peter Benson, his deputy, but so far we haven't seen any conflict there.
Great,
So, thank you. And Jay isn't here to answer, but I
Jay
hope
doesn't
he would
work for
answer.
us. He plows the parking lot occasionally when we
Okay.
help.
Thank you. Yeah,
Jim.
appreciate that. Jim?
Just a quick PSA, I forgot to mention, September 29th to October 1st, the Jackson Water Precinct is going to be closing the bottom of Switchback Road, the entrance to it. They have another valve replacement. So it's going to be a
Okay,
little
wait.
confusing in the village.
Wait, is that the same time as the pop-up? Did you
It
guys
is.
know that,
So-
David? Okay,
I did bring that up to them.
Okay.
Because Scott had brought it up to me a little while ago,
okay.
when they did
As
the
long
other
as
two.
you guys
They
all
found the third one.
communicate.
I just want to communicate it will be in the e-news, and it's going to
Okay.
be a little confusing in the village for a couple days.
Yeah,
What was the date, sir?
Switchback 29th to October 1st.
They planned on 3 days, they may not be the entire 3 days. It'll be closed during the day, open to one lane at night
Okay,
for access.
okay,
That's all,
interesting.
just a PSA.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, motion to adjourn, 4:28.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chris, Eric, Chief, did you want to stick around and talk about the communication for a minute? Do you want to, you don't have to say.
You can.
Stay in here,
Yeah.
up here.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, Frank, you have to go, because we are done with our public.
Oh, I see,
meeting.
okay.
Yeah.